crypto world. It's always something exciting. Yeah, I fired out those links fast as I could.
Good deal. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Morning Coins with John and Chaz. Haven't seen you in a couple weeks, so we are glad to be back. Today's episode is money, mana, and universal basic income. So just hold on. You guys are now listening to Happy Rock from bensounds.com. We're going to give some people a chance to get in here, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So we'll be right back. Enjoy the song. All right, Chaz.
Good morning.
I think we've given everyone enough time to get in here. We
Yeah.
do have two people watching now, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys who are watching. If you want to leave a comment so we can say hey to you, that's cool. You don't even have to upvote. You can just leave us a comment. This is Morning Coins with John and Chaz. Oh,
Yes.
already.
And we welcome stragglers, though. If they want to get on with us and talk, we have room on the screen for them.
Absolutely. Today's topic, as you guys could see, I put it reverse in the title, and then I thought, actually, it's money, mana, and universal basic income.
Yeah.
That's kind of the flow of what today's episode's going to be. So, and you guys can see up there, special thanks to, always get it messed up, DLive 24 Hour, our promotional partner for streaming the show. And then right above that is the call-in number. You just dial that U.S. number and then put in the meeting ID 468-186-430, and you can chat with us live and come on and be a part of the show.
I'm really liking that DLive platform as well as the STEEM platform.
They just got an Android app.
Yeah.
To go.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're doing cool stuff. Like I said, it's probably one of the better use cases of their tech, right?
Yes.
So like they do a great job at developing apps within and on that blockchain and staying true to their core mission of proof of brain and helping people to get rewarded for sharing good quality content.
Yes, yeah, it is, and people are getting rewarded. I've seen some pretty big rewards out there.
Oh yeah, man,
for
that is
content,
definitely
which is great
true.
Because you go to the other platform that people talk about, and they're filtering you, and they're taking, cutting you off when they feel that you don't have enough going for you, and basically it's not much of an incentive to go there.
Are you speaking of one particular platform?
Yeah, I am. I don't.
Is Is it the social network not to be named?
Well, it is now. We're not going to put that name out there, but
That's right. Well, that's what I call them. I don't like to give them credence to anything, right? It's unfortunate that some people view that platform as the internet, but
yeah.
I always call them the social media network not to be named, and then every now and again I slip up and I say what they actually are called.
Yeah, I know. Well, they're losing. They're going to lose ground. They're old. The old guard is going away as people discover the blockchain and these new platforms. They're going to be hurting.
Gotcha. I love it. I like to hear it. So today we're going to be giving you guys some thoughtful investment advice that is not to be used as investment advice.
We're going to give you information.
That's right.
And we're going to talk about cryptocurrencies, futures, stocks, and options. Trading involves substantial risk of loss and are not suitable for every investor. The valuation of cryptocurrencies, futures, stocks, and options may fluctuate, and as a result, clients may lose more than their original investment. All investments discussed on this show are for informational purposes only and are not recommendations to buy or sell.
And there you have it, guys. So this is Morning Coins with John and Chaz. I'm John. He's Chaz. Thanks for tuning in. So like I said today, we're going to do money, mana, and universal basic income. Before we go in depth into our token, what was it like kind of putting together this link list for the show? You can see we have mana first.
Well,
go ahead.
This is one case where I found a white paper that I could read and actually understand.
Okay.
It was steeped in technical terminology, but more for purpose. They do talk about their technology and how they're going to operate it, but it was easier to read, so I could go through this paper and actually pick things out. So the first link is their white paper, and I highly recommend people read it. A lot of the slides that we're going to see today are just basically screenshots of their white paper.
Okay.
But they make a good presentation, and I think that they are they have an idea here. We'll have to see if it actually works out. And I actually signed up and am waiting to see what happens with this. So we're going to do our own test and see if this thing actually does what it says it does.
All right. So this is Mana 1.
Yeah. So, of course, the other links, stop loss mistakes. This is a technical analysis of using the stop loss order in trading.
Great.
So I thought that would be interesting for people to look at.
Is there one tip from that? Because I know we don't have any slides related to that. Is there one tip from that, from your reading, that you could give, or that you have, like, from your experience in doing stop loss, on what they should look out for?
When you place those kind of orders, I don't call them sophisticated orders, but they're more complicated. Thought process goes into them.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say to people that read this and look at it, I would say you really need to time the entry of the order correctly. If you put it in too soon, you're going to end up breaking even or maybe even losing money. So in my world, when I place stop loss orders, my favorite stop loss was the trailing stop loss.
Okay.
And that I place the order as the price. Well, let me explain the stop loss first. Stop loss means you place the order below the price that the investment is currently at, and it will not execute until the price comes back down to that. So it's like a safety net.
Right. And you're essentially saying you want to sell it before you lose what you want to get out of it.
Or you're trying to save yourself from losing a ton of money.
Yeah. Okay.
Free fall, right?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite, now I can go back to that. My favorite one was the trailing stop loss. And when you place this, as the price of the investment goes up, the stop loss goes up with it. And it keeps a distance between current price and stop loss price. And so I would wait on a stop loss. When I place an order like that, I would wait and not put it in right away and wait for the investment to start to rise. And when it rose up to a place where I might have a profit, I would then place my stop loss order, my trailing stop loss.
Okay.
And if it continued to go up, I was protected. If it came down, I was protected. So it's a safety net order.
Okay.
You
Right.
have, and I've read some studies on stop losses, and if you don't do it right, you're not going to end up doing any better than just watching the investment and selling it.
And you might end up doing worse.
Yeah. So if you're a guy that's really busy or a person that's really busy and you don't have time to watch the screen all day long, a stop loss would be probably a good insurance policy.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And then we have your Join Manna Base link, the referral link.
Right. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But one thing is it's a referral bonus program. So when we get into it, we'll see that you get a weekly stipend from Manna Base. And then if you sign up other people or people are referred and come in and actually open accounts, you can double or triple or quadruple your amount of money that you get each week.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah. All right. And then we got Ethereum, 1 million transactions a second.
Yeah, Vitali is claiming that it's coming.
On the Etherium blockchain.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
And then a Manna Base review, so the guide for...
Yeah, I just found an article where someone reviews it, so if you don't want to go through all the technical stuff, you can just go to that right away and get an overview.
Okay. All right, so the first, the next slide that we have on is kind of your money slide, and it's a wordy one. So let's have you.
It is. But
you want to read all of it, or do you just want to comment on it?
Well, we'll just comment on. I'll read the one on the right hand side.
Okay.
Currencies created as an issuance of debt by banks whose mission is to gain profit by charging interest on loans, favor the accumulation of wealth by already wealthy individuals, businesses, and nations, which are preferred for access to credit over those without such capital. And basically, this is the theme things. This, of course, came right from the white paper. And this theme is that, access to money has been inhibited by larger entities that want to control it.
Amen.
And I've worked in banking for 30 plus years, and I can tell you, it always seemed like if you didn't have, you already had to have the money to get the money.
That's right. Right. That's exactly how it is. And then if you need something like a house, a car, or anything, you're going to have to not go into debt, but you're going to have to finance it at the interest rate with which they tell you can have.
Right. Yeah, and so you're at their mercy. And in banking, I did loans, and I had to turn a lot of people down that were able to actually pay the loans.
Mm-hmm. How come?
Maybe their credit wasn't so hot. That's a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was, well, you didn't have sufficient assets. Now in business, there was this dilemma that you always run into because businesses are trying not to show profits so they don't have to pay taxes. Well, guess what's one of the things I need to do a business loan? A tax return.
Right.
And you show that your income on your tax return is $1,000 because your accountant cleverly hid all this money. So you're actually able to make the payments.
Right. But
you can't get the loan because your tax return reflects your intelligence on saving taxes.
Interesting. That's interesting right there.
Catch-22.
Yeah. So you have to have wealth and you have to have it invested right, and you also have to pay your taxes?
Yeah. So I always told people, I said, I know that you want to save money on taxes, but if you're looking at a loan down the road, you have to show income.
Right. So I like the other side, right? I like the side that says, that we the people of the world recognize and declare that money is a social invention which can be changed by the people according to our values.
Yeah.
Like that part resonated more with me, and is like this whole thing, right? The whole Satoshi white paper and all of this stuff where we are right now, even though all the tech is in its infancy, it all I think it all stemmed from what happened in 2007, 2008, when these
Yes.
financial institutions were going to fail. And people were like, this is ridiculous. Or like the U.S. national debt is ridiculous, that we can't track things. There's no principles of accounting. You have, like you said, you have the wealthy 1% that benefit from the current financial system and structure.
Yes.
And so they said, let's make something where we can try to stem that and alleviate that for future generations.
We need my take on the system is that capitalism is not inherently bad
Mm-hmm.
unless there's no moral controls. And it seems that now the system is being used just to gather wealth and take it from other people.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was like, if you looked at Ford created the production line, which created jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's always conflict in these situations when you have a new industry, but people had jobs. They were working regular.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to go out in the field and dig. We were becoming more of an industrial society and not so much an agricultural society.
Mm-hmm.
And people made money. And of course, there was conflict there. And that when the unions got involved, and because people were, forced to work long hours and being treated unfairly,
Mm-hmm.
I will admit. And so they created their own organization. And with time, began to have a relationship with the auto companies that exist today.
Gotcha.
So there had to be some kind of shift in the power base, I guess is what I'm saying. There had to be more balance. And I think we're in our current system of economics, we're losing that balance.
I think we are too. I don't know that unions were the cause of it. I think that they started out, like you said, on the right path, but what happens with any organization is, as you grow, your leadership tends to centralize the decision making, and it became this battle between union members or between the unions and the companies.
Well, yeah, and it became a battle because the short-sightedness of the unions, if they were a little more long-term viewing, because I remember one of my high school buddies, after we graduated, he had joined the Communication Workers International.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, of course, at that time, a staunch conservative, more than I am now. I'm more moderate now. And I told him, I said, you guys are making a mistake by going for money only. You need to find some way to secure your job position. It's not all about money. And sure enough, they went, you got a guy working on a production line and he's making $100,000 a year. And the economic balance is going to shift the other way sooner or later.
Well, it shifted.
Yeah, it did. So now some of these guys are making $15 an hour.
Yeah.
And then it shifted back the other way. So, I mean, the need for balance is what I see here in Manna, is that we're creating a system where we can get some balance.
So let's talk about that, and that's on our next slide. Their concept, their blockchain concept for their is it a token?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so their concept for their
on a couple exchanges too.
I saw that. Their concept for their token, or their value proposition, to use business terms, is universal basic income, a weekly income on a regular basis where all qualify.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there are situations, and in some ways it's a complex platform, but in this situation, all you got to do is sign up, get verified. And the verification process basically is verifying your phone, your mobile phone. I mean, I don't have to send ID.
Oh, really? I saw where they were asking for name, address, phone.
Oh, yeah. Name, address, and phone. Yeah, you have to verify you're a real person, I guess.
Okay. I just didn't want to just tell people phone.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
And they are a 501c3 in the United States.
Yes, they are.
So then my question was, is that going to be, is it going to be universal? Like, can anyone anywhere sign up on the Manna platform and receive it, regardless of it? Like, is it a global company or
They are
institution?
looking currently for a new country to open up a nonprofit in that is favorable to nonprofits in a larger spectrum. So
Okay.
they are looking at opening up. I don't know if it's addition or they're going to move. I didn't get that far into it,
Okay.
but they're looking for a more favorable environment for this situation.
Okay. So let's go through some of these bullet points on here on this slide, or the ones that like kind of speak to you. And then while you're summing up your or while you're gathering your thoughts on that, thank you guys who are watching. This is Morning Coins with John and Chaz. We appreciate you being here, and thank you Brooks228 for the upvote. You guys are awesome. The slides, as you guys can see, were in the description, and I also entered them into the chat on DLive, so you guys can see those or copy and paste that link and get the slides and join with us. And then you guys can see the number up there where you can call in and chat with us or check our stats.
Yes. I just want to cover some points here that I thought were more salient points, but one is that the actual distribution or the token itself, they plan on controlling the value of the token through market buybacks or sells to keep the token at a reasonable level. And later on, we're going to look at a chart and you can see that it's had a significant rise like many cryptocurrencies have in the market. They trade on exchanges in Argentina, the SouthX exchange, and they're working on adding more exchanges.
And that's the only one right now, right? They only have one exchange.
Yeah, that's the only one I'm aware of at this point in their white paper.
Okay.
And the current circulation, let's see here, the total supply of Manna, including all tokens that are currently in circulation, are held in reserve by the People's Currency Foundation for release during the next 10 years. So they have a systematic release program in place that they're going to gradually release these tokens.
And what does that mean? What is the People's Currency Foundation their organization?
You know, this is something I tried
separate...
to. There's a number of organizations involved in this.
Okay.
There's the managing organization. There's the blockchain organization, which is Manna based. I emailed them. I know it was short notice, and I tried to get them to give me a organizational chart so we could sort of sort that out.
Yeah. They send you anything?
No, on their website it says, please wait at least 2 weeks for a response.
yeah, I saw that. Well, that's what I said. You get how far did you get? That's the crazy thing about all these companies, right? Is they just have to deal. It's the scale issue again. You have to deal opening multiple accounts and growing. They don't have the capacity to deal with it, and that's not a bad thing. That's a growth thing. So that's more of a, hey, people, we have to learn to be patient as well. Not everything is going to come super fast, and we're not going to be instantly gratified like what we're used to.
Yeah, well, I'm also thinking there's an organizational structural problem there, right?
Mm-hmm.
They probably got 1 or 2 people handling the emails for the entire organization. And what they need to do is set someone in charge of distributing the emails to the people who can answer the questions to speed the process. I mean, one or 2 people can't really handle that.
And they have a pretty big team, right? It looks like they promote like 17, 16 people.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my point, is that you got all these people and you can't answer an email in less than 2 weeks. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, Coinbase is like that, but they're a $1 trillion company or $1 billion company. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you would think, though, that a larger company would have less, put less resources to responding, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, AT&T, as big as they are, they actually get back to me when I need an answer.
Right.
So they need to put some effort.
Well, they need all the customers they can.
Yeah, and if you were looking at and we'll get to this later, but looking at the team, they're heavily laden with nonprofit activism people.
And that's kind of where they started, right? They were They were the token was called something else when it first started. Grant
Grant
token,
coin.
Grant coin. So you can
Yes.
tell it initially started as a nonprofit token that was going to spur grant projects and give it that way. And then somehow they rebranded for the universal basic income piece, which is cool, right?
Yeah.
I'm down with it if it can work and they can manage it. Vector Abbott, thank you for watching and upvoting. We appreciate it. DLive 24 hour. You are awesome. Nothing more needs to be said there.
Okay. There's a little paragraph I notated on my own notes here. I just wanted to read.
Okay.
Manabase will store both user-provided profile data as well as demographic data about the economic status of nations, regions, and the average person living in specific localities. Users wishing to verify their age, gender, geographic location, occupation, etc., on their profile must have other users confirm the accuracy of their information they submit to prevent fraud. We don't want wealthy American adults pretending to be impoverished African children. I thought that was
Wow. They
yeah.
said that? That's specifically stated on their site?
That's a word for word right off their paper.
That's what I like about these white papers, and that's why I like doing this show, man, because you research all these companies and you read that stuff, and then you can tell like they're like this is the wild wild west per se, but it's global because these technologies are accessible to anyone.
Yeah.
And you can do
Yeah.
things like that. You can call out rich white people in America.
Well, there's always someone looking for an angle, right?
Yeah.
But now, having said all that, let's say you've established your account now, and you're receiving Manna tokens, Manna-based tokens in your account. They are actually going to set up, and I haven't seen this yet, but organizations where you can spend your money to buy food or clothes that are more, what do they call it? Let me see, responsible businesses. So you can research a business and that's registered with Manna and use your tokens and spend them to buy food or clothing through these organizations.
Right. It says a Manna-based user wishing to spend some Manna to buy food or clothing from a socially responsible business could search for companies that are registered with the site.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. So that's one way that they're looking to scale and grow and provide different options for people as well.
Right, and it gives now it sort of cleared things up when I read that because I'm going, okay, so I got Manna tokens, now what?
Yep.
I got to go out and sell them on the market. But my one thought on this whole process was that how do they get money into the hands of people who do not have the means or resources to have an internet or computer system? I mean, you and I sit here and we're on this every day and we take it for granted. There are people out there still living in houses with dirt floors.
Right. I do not take anything for granted.
Yeah, and so how do we get that? How is Manna going to get that to them? Are they going to supply them with internet? I don't know. I didn't read that. I need to read the white paper again, but I did not see how that's going to work.
Right, and so that's I think that's the next 5 to 10 years is how to take some of these ideas and how to take some of these great blockchains with use cases like STEEM, like Manna, like Etherium, like Bitcoin, and scaling them and making them to where they have some good use cases and can do that do what they intend to do, and so you'll see that as these people continue to grow and these decentralized organizations continue to grow, that they're going to have those conversations and have those discussions. I look forward to being part of it. I hope you guys out there watching too look forward to be a part of it. It was making me think about how we have to kind of diversify. Like we have to have tokens and coins that are on the blockchain that we rely on and that we trust and but also that we can create with and that we can share and tackle some of these issues, like a show or a channel, for example, taking a certain portion of their resources and dedicating it to another project that might provide computers or might provide internet access to a community that doesn't have it. Like all those things are things that we all should be talking about and promoting and making sure that we're connected around. Callie Meatwagon, thank you for the upvote. If you're watching, I really enjoyed watching your GTA streams. I didn't even know that GTA was available on PC until I saw you in your stream. So now I'm just arguing with someone as to whether or not I'm going to be able to get that and dedicate some time to doing that. But Charles is against violent video games, so I probably shouldn't talk about that too much on this show with him.
We need a video game that's based on Manna.
So I'll send you. So we've been talking about on my other show that I do with at Gone Rogue, at Sean S. Porter, and at Narashi, called the Steaming Pile, and there's a blockchain company. It's called Decentraland, and really what there is, it's just a virtual reality experience where it's like The Sims, where you can kind of create your own space on the blockchain and using virtual reality and computer animated design and things like that. It's called Decentraland, so it looks pretty cool. And I do think there is possibility for not only Steam to be in there, but Manna to be in there, and have it be an interesting kind of connection space if it can grow, like if it, but to get to where it needs to be, you need a lot more tech support and things that I have no idea about. When you get too deep into computer programming and all that kind of stuff, I get lost. I really am just a general user that might be able to broadcast some stuff.
Not for me. Yeah, I get headaches and that stuff. So I want to apologize for one of my bullet points at the bottom. I got interrupted when I was typing and I never finished it.
I didn't even pay attention to it. I just went to the next slide. Okay.
So anyway, if you read the white paper, it explains the referral process.
We're looking at the distribution of Grant Coin, that's Manna, everybody. So Grant Coin, Manna is the rebranded Grant Coin.
Yes. And so it's just showing the distribution of the coins and where they're at, stakeholders, nonprofits, founders. The founders at least listed themselves there, and basic income and user growth incentives on there. And of course, they're gonna pump in tokens every year on a percentage basis to keep it going.
Okay, gotcha.
And then the second slide after that shows what it's going to look like in 2027. And you can see that slice of basic income has increased significantly.
Okay, so it goes from, let's check it. It goes from, where's it at now? Basic income 10 years reserve is 30 there. Where's on the first one?
Let's see. Contributing
it's Manabase Inc. Tech Development, contributing stakeholders, charities and nonprofits, unknown stakeholders.
Yeah, so the charities and nonprofits, and then let's see, of course they put their basic income and user growth down at the bottom in centers, the blue.
Okay. Gotcha.
On the first slide.
The blue on the first slide. There we go, got it. So it goes from 5% right now to by 2027 it'll be 30%.
Yeah. So they have a plan, which.
And the founders are going down to 4%. Charities will be down to 2%. Existing stakeholders and Manabase Inc. will be 7%. Team developers and partners will be 10%. Miscellaneous is 20%. And growth incentives are 20%. So I would assume now, like everything is set up to the red, right? They're still looking for team developers and partners, and then there will be, I bet you could tap into some of that miscellaneous and growth, depending on how the it's so hard. I don't want to call these things companies, but how the blockchain organization expands, and they'll determine, like smaller projects will determine those percentages.
Yeah, and I think that what you're looking here is they have a plan and they've thought it out to 2027, which is, I think, a good thing.
Gotcha. And then we see their chart looks pretty good.
Yeah, their price is increasing. They've had a couple
Now that only
dips
goes to January.
of this year. Yeah.
Before the crash. Where are they now? Do we know?
No, I have no idea. That was one thing I just fell off the table.
Oh,
When
we
I
got to
was
look
doing.
it up. So I'm going to go, or can you go look it up, and I'm going to show our viewers a couple things that I saw on Manna.
Sure, go ahead. I'm going to go
Okay.
do that on an unnameable search engine.
So I went over to STEEM it, and you just see there's a Manna category. And there's a couple things in here. One is U.S. presidential candidate Andrew Yang joins Manna Basic Income Project. We'll upvote that, just because. It's kind of cool. Coming to the West, here's a video of a plant in China owned by JD.com. A businessman's view of universal basic income. So I clicked on this because I like videos that are the drawn infographic type videos.
People across the country have been lobbying for a guaranteed basic income for several years, as we've talked about before on Information Morning. This weekend, advocates will hold a conference at Dalhousie University to look at how a basic income would work. One of the speakers, Floyd Marinescu, will offer an unusual perspective. He's the CEO of C4 Media Inc., a global firm that deals with software development, and he will be arguing for basic income from a business perspective.
Good morning, Mr. Marinescu.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Very good. Happy to be here.
Why is this a good idea for business?
Well, it's quite simple. What could be more pro-business than having more customers? Basic income, I think, is one of the best, most scalable economic stimulus we could imagine. Put more money in the hands of people that will spend it. And that eventually trickle up to more customers for businesses, more sustainability. You know, as a business owner, I'd rather have 10% more revenue than 10% more profit, even if that means that the tax rates slightly go up. It means that business is more sustainable.
Charles, you still there?
Yeah, I'm
halfway home.
I'm searching. Yeah, I'm halfway home.
Gotcha. So there's some good posts in the Manna thread on Steam it, you guys. I'll be playing more of a role in there and checking that out. This is our first one in here, but since Chaz has jumped in and I also think it's a cool project, I'm gonna keep them on my radar. Chaz, you said you signed up. You signed up for their UBI. You gave them your address and everything.
Oh, yeah, did the whole thing.
Uh-oh. I'm going to go ahead and submit my address. I haven't done that yet, but I'm trusting you. And I'm going to go ahead and sign up. I'm going to hit submit, and then we're going to see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you have to, they have to verify that your phone actually is a real phone, so you'll get the confirmation code.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. That's what I was looking for. I should have stuck with my original plan on finding the price.
So this is like on our last steaming pile. There's a card game on the blockchain called Steam Monsters, and we went in live and downloaded our monsters paying for with Steam.
Yeah.
So I got my text already. It says, "Greetings. Here's your Manna account verification code." My phone is so slow that it's hard to verify. So where are we with Manna? How much is it now?
USD is 0.0038.
I can't do that math in my brain.
Well, it's 0.0, it would be 10 cents. 0.00 is 3 cents. So it's a fraction of a penny is what they're showing.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so that's what it is right now.
Yeah.
So it was up to what?
So what we're looking at, the price on there is GRT on that on our chart. So it's not USD or CRT. So I'm not sure what the heck that is. I have to price per thousand.
Your camera froze again.
Okay, so at this, if you look at the chart, it's a price per thousand, and it says $8 at that chart, which would be divided by 1,000. So it'd be 0.0008, I think, is what we're looking at.
0.0008. And
Yeah.
now it's at 0.0003?
No, 0.0038. So it's gone up significantly. So the chart is pretty accurate.
Okay. I guess I'm a little confused.
Okay, so
Because I would have been thinking that it was following the trend of. Are you saying that it's broken the trend of Bitcoin, or am I just lost?
well, this is from June 15th to January 18th. So I don't know what's happened since January. But what I'm saying is that they're doing multiples here. Instead of using a single
Okay.
coin, they're saying this is
1,000.
1,000, yeah.
This is the price of 1,000. So the current price is 0.003. So math whizzes out there would take 0.003 and times it by 1,000.
Yeah. So in which case we're looking at it has come down significantly.
Yeah.
But that's what happens with.
Yeah. It's at 3. Which
$3.
is standard. So it's at $3. So that's
$3.80, I think, is what you're looking
right.
at.
So that's standard, I would say, kind of from where we're at, where everyone's at. So it's following the flow from all the other top leaders in the CGI 30, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Which will come up here soon.
I know. So we got our team. We see the team.
Yeah, thanks for adding that and making that look better.
Eric Stetson.
Eric is the founder and executive director. Now, if you read his description, which was on the previous slide I put in, he talks about he has all this nonprofit experience.
Is it still in there? Because I didn't see that one.
No. So, but anyway, what I found was when I looked at his LinkedIn page, that his qualifications are somewhat cloudy. I mean, he has some experience in nonprofits, but nonprofits cover a lot of ground.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the NFL is a nonprofit organization. You know what I mean? So, but not charities. His focus hasn't been charities.
Interesting.
But,
okay.
Yeah. And the second guy there, John Fretchen, his experience seems a bit thin. If you look at his LinkedIn page, I mean, he's got like 2 or 3 entries.
Okay.
Maybe it hasn't been updated. They need to get with the marketing department and fix that. And then Brand seems to have the most experience for his job category. You know, he was a project manager at several places. He's been an engineer, so he's the guy that seems to have the most foundation for what he's doing in his job category.
Gotcha. Interesting. All right. Next up, we got our sign-up links there. So you guys can sign up for Manna with our links. You guys, the slideshow for this is on STEEM, and it's also in the DLive chat. So you guys can go open up the slides, find this slide, and sign up for Manna, or you can find someone else's referral code and sign up for Manna.
Yeah.
But we want you to use ours.
What we'd be doing is you'd be increasing our income here. So it's sort of like an upvote.
It's better than an upvote if Manna takes off.
Yeah.
And then if you're new to cryptocurrency, you can also, on the slideshow or in STEEM or DLive, or if you're watching a recorded version on YouTube, then you can click on the links that we have in the description. And if you invest $100 and buy yourself $100 worth of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, or Bitcoin Cash, even though I don't like to even shill that one. Some people do. Buy $100 worth, and we get $10 worth of Bitcoin, and so do you extra. So you can choose Chaz or myself and get that done. All right. We've reached the end.
Yes,
to where we have a slide where you let people think that we're going to make them a whole lot of money.
Yes, the cryptocurrency exchange or the index 30 And I have not. What I really need to do is next time we need to see if that index is open to investing in the U.S. The 50. If we look at this, of course, we can see this is a long-term chart. The 52-week change, 1 year change is plus 49%. So if you're in at 52 weeks ago, you're doing okay.
Okay.
50% is nothing to be squeamish about. Month-to-date change, it's up 25%. It's still respectable.
Yep.
But on year-to-date, so since the beginning of this year, we're down 63%.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, so
That's
long-term
tough.
holder, I've made it.
Right. Well, that's exactly right. And people that kind of got in the furor of December, buying Bitcoin for their grandmother and their parents and themselves, they're probably kicking themselves, and they probably don't believe in what we're doing out here.
Yes.
Now, you were a little bit later to the game,
yes.
I would say, right? You've kind of just started, and so and you have a good background in this stuff, and so it's probably easier for you to navigate some of these structural ups and downs.
Yeah, I think long-term perspectives. If people want to buy something, they need to learn about price movement in investment markets.
Mm-hmm.
And so we haven't done it today, but we do present technical analysis to give you some idea which way things are going. And I'll just give you a good example of anyone can get caught, but I am a gold investor. I'm in a gold exchange traded fund, and it's down. I'm down. But
okay.
When I look at the technical analysis, we're near the bottom of the downturn and should turn around again, and I'll make money because I've done it the last time. I was in and out, made a few bucks, and this next time I'm going to do it too. But most people probably in my position would have sold out by now.
I see. Gotcha.
They would have took their losses and ran. I'm just hanging in there because I'm looking at the technicals and I'm saying this is going to turn around soon.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Chaz, thanks, man. Another good episode of Morning Coins with John and Chaz. Are we on for next week?
Yes. Yeah.
Next
I don't
Tuesday?
have a coin at this point.
We don't have a coin or token. We are open to suggestions. I am at John Spalding on Steemit. Chaz is at CRollo3. You can see that in the description for today's show. If you have a token or a coin that you would like us to feature, why don't you just let us know, and we will put something together for you.
Yes, we will.
It's that easy. And also, you guys can contact us if you have a project, idea, token, or things that you would like to have promoted as part of the show. You see we have the DLive 24-hour banner up here. Just give us a shout out, and we'll see if we can put a banner over there. Trading STEEM and other cryptocurrencies. So thanks, everyone, for being here. This is episode 13 of Morning Coins with John and Chaz. Money, Manna, and Universal Basic Income.
It's there. Sign up.